People who suffer from depression, and really bad depression, a lot of them feel so ashamed that they don't want anyone to know about it. And they just want to close off in their little cavern and little hole and just be like, I don't want anyone to see me, and I don't want anyone to know that I'm going through this. So they disappear and they don't message any of their friends for days. And that's very standard in the mental illness community. I've been dealing with that for years with people, doing, the work I do on this channel and, being in as many mental institutions as I have. So if you have a friend who is depressed, when that happens, when they stop messaging you for 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and then they pop up again, and then they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I was just really depressed, and I was really ashamed of it, and I didn't want anyone to know about it, and I didn't want you to know about it. The best thing you could do is just be like, know that I don't judge you. I will never judge you. I don't have any expectations of who you should be and what you should be. And if you're going through depression, please just talk to me about it. And I would love to hear about it. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm your friend. Or that's why I'm your best friend. Or that's why I'm your boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever. But the problem with that, even if you say that to that person, the next time they experience severe depression, they'll get to a place where they don't even want to pick up the cell phone. They don't even want to message people because they're that depressed. So it's a very hard condition, being severely depressed. Because I've been there a million times too. Like I was telling somebody this morning, I was just like, I'm like, I won't judge you and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, but I'm giving you this advice. But every time I get severely depressed, I don't want to reach out to anyone either. I'm like, I just want to go into my little cave and, and just like read and not be seen or heard by people, I just, because I'm so depressed. Depression's so scary, man. Yesterday I became very depressed. Very depressed. I have this new neighbor, and he's just such a normal person, and I'm having a really hard time dealing with it. Because I know that he's like watching me. It's so hard to deal with normal people or average, let's say average people, when you're not average. Whenever you go to a psychiatrist or a therapist, or if you're in a mental institution, never say normal people. Because your psychiatrist, therapist, or whoever's in the mental institution will be like, what's normal? Nobody's normal. They always pull that on you. So just be like, average. Because if you say average, people who are borderline, bipolar, or clinically depressed, I don't know about clinical depression, but people that are borderline or bipolar, we make about 1.6% of the overall population. It's probably a little bit higher. Those are the stats, right? But I'd say 3 to 4% of the population. I'd say 4% of the population has bipolar, borderline personality disorder, right? So that means the other 96% of the world doesn't have borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder, right? So 96%. That's the average, right? So average people, 96% of the world doesn't have bipolar borderline personality disorder. 4% of us do. So we are highly, highly, highly outnumbered. So if you have borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder, people may look at you like you're strange. And a lot of us who are bipolar or borderline, we get so depressed or so sleep deprived sometimes that we become schizophrenic or schizoaffective sometimes. And when you reach those levels of schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder, you are very bizarre looking to average people. So you just want to go inside and hide and not be seen or heard by people. because people are so different than us. And we become scared to leave the house, and we don't want to leave the house. So we just hide all the time. Because whenever we go outside, we get judged and we get looked at in ways that make us feel bad about ourselves. So we don't want to be seen by people anymore. Because we become very scared of people. Because they make us feel so bad about ourselves. Because they look at us with these eyes where we constantly feel like we're being judged. And they look at us like they make us feel like we're less than them, and they don't want us around. Or they look at us like there's something wrong with us. And when we get those looks like there's something wrong with us, we just want to stay inside forever. I talk a lot about that in the ebook, Above and Below. If you have depression or any mental illness or whatever, man, or if you have somebody in your life that's depressed or has any mental illness, you should read that book, man. It's cool. Have a good time, guys. Circle.